Good Friday morning, everybody. Beautiful Friday morning here in Central Florida. Starting the day off at 71 degrees. It's going to be a great day. Man, has the humidity gone through the roof today. We were having that really nice, cool weather in the morning with low humidity, but today it is come back with vengeance. But it's still going to be a great day. Found out last night that they canceled the camp out for this weekend. So, Jack and I won't be going on camp out. Change number 20, right? And we may or may not go on the hike. They changed to have a hike, and you just roll with it, right? That's what you got to do. I think Jack is a little disappointed. He was looking forward to going camping, and if it was easier to get into the campgrounds around here, I'd see if we could get in anyhow. I'm still going to check. You never know. This time of year, they're pretty full. Lots of the prime camping in Florida is very, very packed in advance. And that's just how it is. But there are some good places out there that people don't really pay attention to a whole lot and don't do a lot of looking into that you can get into. They're nice. So, hey, we're just going to roll with it. So we'll probably, Saturday afternoon, we will probably start working on Naomi's bed, but she has a lot of work to do first because her side of the room is wow. Bucket loader dump truck mean anything to you? And that's how I feel about it. But no, we'll get them to straighten that area out, and if they do, then we'll go ahead and build her bed this morning. Nijona has decorated hers and really organized things really well, and I hope she keeps it that way. It always starts out great. You just got to keep them on task. Just like with our lives. Lots of times we start things great, and we got to be reminded to stay on task. Sometimes that's personal, and sometimes that's in our work lives or our spiritual lives, right? We all want to grow, but most of us don't want to deal with the pain. But your best growth comes through that pain. Honest engine, telling you, your best growth will come through that pain. Face it head on. Do your absolute very, very best. Don't get discouraged. And if you do, pull yourself out of it quickly. And when you fail, because every one of us fails, pick yourself up, learn from it, and move on. Don't dwell in it. Sometimes I think about things from the past and I'm like, why? Why is that coming up in my head? That's old news, right? But sometimes we need to remember where we came from to appreciate where we're at. So I remember at a very young age, and this didn't have anything to do with my parents, I just want to preface that, being locked in a broom closet in an old house, really old place. And I was scared of the dark at that age, as a lot of kids were. But I learned to appreciate the light coming from under the door. If that's the only light you have, cherish it. So there's another light we should all be looking for. Want to know more about that? Let me know. But anywho, no matter what happens, roll with the punches. Don't let anything get you down or discourage you. I'll probably spend some time with Jack this weekend, just him and I, and maybe we'll throw the fishing rods in the truck and find a little place out in the middle of nowhere, go fishing. And I was talking to some friends at church, and that they have a trail life group they've started up too, and then some others that are interested in camping that aren't involved in anything. So maybe I'll organize a little camp for January amongst us, and we'll just hang out an overnight or maybe a weekend. We'll just see. I'm going to call up the state parks that I'm familiar with that have group campsites and see how to get set up to group. I don't know if you have to be a member of a group or if anybody can just reserve the group campsites and how much it is and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at that, and maybe we'll get something going on. Maybe we'll learn something Hmm. Huh. And a lot of the folks are younger than me, even the parents, and I don't mind that. We get along great, and it's really really important that the older men teach the younger men, and the older women teach the younger women. There's things that my 11-year-old's going through or about to go through that I cannot relate to, and I can't help her with. Her mom's going to have to. And there's things that boys go through that mom's not going to be able to figure it out. Dad's going to take care of it, right? I think that in the last couple centuries, we've done a terrible thing to boys by not letting them be boys. You know, Boy Scouts should be Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts should be Girl Scouts. There's a reason for it. There's things that boys go through that girls don't, and vice versa. So raise up boys to be men and raise up girls to be women, because that's the way it should be. And if you're struggling with that, you've got a problem that you need to look at yourself. I can't help you there. I'm so very thankful that my dad taught me so much about being a man, about being able to do things for myself. I had a lot of really good examples of older men in my life that taught me how to be a man. Yeah, I had some I learned from because they were bad examples, and I learned I didn't want to be that too. But the vast majority were good examples, very good examples. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of that. And I don't think kids cherish that much when they're younger. And some of the folks that taught me were pretty harsh, rugged people, and there weren't any pleases and thank yous, and there weren't any job well done. There was, here, get this done. It's not a question. Let's go. And you learn something if you pay attention. If you get over those superficial lying feelings that come through yourself and you open up to learn, you might actually excel at something. And I'll give you an example. What's a 20-year-old single male going to teach a 55 or over guy that's married with kids about being a parent? I'm sorry. You read all the books you want, but until you are one, you don't understand. And that's the truth. Just saying. What? Some people don't understand that I won't talk about certain things with them. I get around a firefighter and they'll be talking about stuff, and I can talk about that. Been there, done it. You can't understand certain things if you've not been there. If you've never been in a firefight, I don't want you to teach me about proper etiquette in a firefight. There ain't no etiquette, there ain't no rules. You stay alive, that's it. Period. If you've not been in one, we're not going to talk about it. Because I've been in more than one, and I'm going to tell you, if you ain't been in one, you don't know what you're talking about. Period. End of discussion. Just the way it is, the way I think. You read all the books you want, you watch all the movies, all the stories you want. That ain't going to do you a lick of good in education when it comes to actually doing something. I built a small concrete pad and sunk a post and put a retractable hose reel in. And, excuse me, 1 minute. Put in a fence and built a floor for a shed and built a shed. And, excuse me, I was questioning about how I did that. I don't know if I would have built a floor like that. I said, well, I'm happy for you. I'm like, I don't know if I would have sunk that pole like that, put that much concrete in there. All right, I'm happy for you. I'm not sure if I like that fence. All right, whatever. That fence looks great, by the way. And I did put more concrete than most would on a post, but I got a hose reel on it with a 100-foot hose that people are going to pull and yank and batter on, right? Here's the bottom line. You know, that person's exact words. Well, when I was watching this old house, they didn't do it like that. Have you built anything? I've built a house from the foundation up more than once. Okay? That doesn't make me an expert, but it gives me a little bit of knowledge to know a little bit more than someone sat on the couch watch TV, because they make things look really good. I had a young man working with me, and I really loved one of his comments when I gave him a impact driver and some screws to put some fascia up. And he dropped a lot of screws at first. And then it took him a while to get first. And I showed him how to do it. And I just let him do it. Let him figure it out. He came down off that ladder. He says, man, those people on YouTube, they make it look real easy. I says, they don't show you the mistakes. Most of them don't. There's a few that do that. I really appreciate. And by the time they're videoing themselves, they've probably done it a few hundred times or more. It showed them the difference between building framing with a framing hammer and a nail gun. How much faster, how much easier a nail gun is. But if you don't do it the old way, how are you going to appreciate that tool, take care of it the new way? That's how I look at it. So that's how I teach. Teach the old way and the hard ways first, and then I step them up to the easiest way. Anywho, there's some things you just can't know without experience. Yeah, you think you're a plumber? Go ahead and try it. See how well it works out the first few times. You better learn something. I'm just saying, there's a lot of different things that you can't speak on if you don't have experience. And not all these young folks know what they're talking about, but they think they do. But I was there too. I thought I knew everything until I had my own kids and I realized how smart my parents were and how foolish I was. That's part of life. It's part of growing up. You know, for some reason we were created to where women mature a little bit faster than men, you know, and we handle different things different ways, and some things better than others, and we all learn at different rates. And there's some things that get overthought too much. You just got to get in there and do it. It's just that simple. Get in there and do it. Oh, you don't know how to do that? Try it out. I'll tell you this: if you want to learn to drive on dirt roads, get you a big open area of dirt and learn how to take them corners. Or you're going to learn the hard way. Just saying. Sometimes you need to know the limits of your equipment before you play around too much. But it's a beautiful Friday. And I hope you can glean something good out of my chatter. And hey, if you want to learn something, I've got an aunt that needs some work done on her mobile home, and I physically can't do it anymore. But if you want to learn something, give me a holler. We'll go out there a couple days and get her done, and I'll teach you something. You know, and the only thing you might get out of it is a home-cooked meal. A few dollars if we got it. But you get a lifetime of education. So, here we go. I hope you all have an awesome weekend. Don't worry about it if plans change even at the last minute. Just roll with it. And do your very best to be your very best. And if you are taking a good look in the mirror and you're looking in you and you're examining yourself and you're making corrections, you're doing better than a lot of folks. That's what everybody needs to be doing, right? And none of us perfect, and we all have room for improvement no matter where we're at. Sometimes you can't see the end of the tunnel until you've been through most of it and look back where you came from. Never forget where you come from. Never forget that you're not perfect. Never forget there's always going to be someone better than you. Kindness will get you a heck of a lot further than meanness. Love will get you a lot further than hate. I saw a post the other day that said everybody says God is love, but they don't talk about that he chastises and disciplines. Let me tell you something. Love includes chastisement and discipline. You don't love somebody if you're not holding them accountable, period. And if you're not raising a child the right way, what a horrible thing you're doing to that child. And if you are an adult and your parents never taught you and you use that as an excuse, shame on you. It's time for you to figure it out. It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to get right. And it's never too late to improve. But you have to want to do it. No one can do it for you. No law will fix it. No rule will help it. The only thing you can do is know that you need to do it yourself or get some help from a higher power to get you there. They can legislate whatever they want, but you can't fix the heart with legislation. And if people don't have a firearm, they'll use whatever they got. Because evil people do what evil people do. Any means they can. So don't be evil, be positive, be the good guy. No matter how hard it hurts. And they say the good ones are always last. I don't care. I want to leave a positive impression. And I want to leave this earth doing the best I can, to be the best I can, and to help share that with as many people as I can. And I try every day not to fail. But every day I fail in some sort of way, even if it's just within my thoughts. And every day I do start over. Sometimes my tries go in vain, and sometimes I excel, but it's not me that needs the credit. Y'all have a good one. Have a great weekend. We catch you Monday. Maybe we'll catch you on the weekend. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.